billion-dollar brand, fully embracing what many others are putting off.
Grove set a goal to be plastic-free in 2025 because we are past a point where incremental change is enough.
Landesberg is the CEO and co-founder of the Grove Collaborative, a company known for its eco-friendly household essentials and personal care products.
The most important thing first is to measure and understand the true cost of the product we're bringing to market.
Grove's plan means replacing plastics with tree-free paper and selling concentrates instead of liquids in larger containers. And consumers are into it. According to Grove, business has grown 5,000% since 2016.
Every business has an obligation to think about the environment, not just improve their bottom line.
Hi, we are from Group 5. Quoting from what Landesberg has said just now, every company has an obligation to think about the environment, not just to improve their bottom line. So we are here to explain on the cost this company has to incur in an effort to save the environment. This is environmental costs and benefits. First of all, let's talk about environmental cost management. Environmental cost management enables the business to control the costs associated with the environmental impact of the company's business operations. The company may impact the environment in a number of ways, including air pollution, manufacturing emissions, wetland impact, and waste disposal. In environmental management, there are two things to consider, which are environmental costs and environmental benefits. So what is environmental costs? These are the costs connected with the actual or potential deterioration of natural assets due to economic activities. Environmental costs can include costs to clean up or remediate contaminated sites, environmental fines, penalties and taxes, purchase of pollution prevention technologies, and waste management costs. Next is environmental benefits. Environmental benefits are the benefits enjoyed by the organization from action taken to reduce the impact on the environmental. Next are the purpose of environmental costs. First, it is to help the companies to reduce waste and costs. The company who manage to increase energy efficiency can save the utility costs. And when they encourage reusing existing material in creative ways, means that fewer money is spent to purchase new stock to create products. At first, the company will be incurred extra of money to be spent establishing green business processes, but it will save a lot of money over time. Second, to encourage companies to conserve the environment, such as reducing paper waste, choose environmentally friendly packaging and labeling, and reducing energy consumption. Companies are finding that they can increase their appeal to customers by portraying themselves as environmentally responsible. Third, to assist companies in compliance with applicable law and regulations imposed by authorities. Examples of regulations imposed by authorities is Environmental Acts by Ministry of Environment and Water Malaysia. Any environmental behavior falls under Environmental Quality Act 1974 under the Act 127. This Act has been amended 3 times in 2001, 2007, and 2012. This Act is an act relating to the prevention, abatement, control of pollution, and enhancement of the environment and for purpose connected therewith. The Act restricts the discharge of waste into the environment in contravention of the acceptable conditions. Ensuring the business comply with environmental legislation and adopts environmental best practice can benefit the business for the sustainability in the industry. Fourth, an organization can make well-informed business decisions. By identifying the environmental costs helps the companies to allocate environmental costs to the process and products which give rise to the organization. Next, I will pass this presentation to FASYA.
Thank you, Hanis. Now, I will explain on the classification of environmental costs. The first cost is prevention costs. It is the cost of activities undertaken to prevent environmental impacts or production of waste. Examples of costs are forming environmental policies and procedures, performing site and feasibility studies, and also staff training. Example of company that have implemented prevention costs is Samsung Electronics. Ever since 2004, Samsung Electronics has developed an evaluation system called eco-design process, whereby its main function is to analyze products' potential environmental impact. This environmentally friendly evaluation method is used during planning stage, whereby they analyze thoroughly the possible environmental impact at each step, starting from product design to logistic, distribution, and take back. Therefore, from this process, they are able to identify possible environmental effects that might happen and take precaution in preventing them. A clearer example is through the production of its refrigerator. Refrigerators has substance that can deplete the ozone layer through its refrigerant. They identify this through eco-design process and has taken measures in replacing the ozone-depleting substance to an environmentally conscious refrigerant that has zero ozone-depleting potential and very low global warming potential rating. Thus, they have incurred prevention costs in an effort of preventing depleting ozone layer. The second cost is detection costs. It is the cost incurred to ensure that the organization complies with regulations and voluntary standards. Examples of costs are developing performance measures, monitoring, testing and inspection costs, and also site survey costs. Hapsang Building Materials Sdn Bhd specialize in quarry operations, manufacturing of clay bricks, and also ceramic tiles since 1980. The quarrying activities is operated in Peninsula Malaysia and Sabah. These quarry operations emit dust in the air, so the company has to comply with the Malaysia Ambient Air Quality Standard MAAQS imposed by the government. So what did the company do to make sure that they comply to this standard? The company has engaged an authorized laboratory to conduct periodic tests on the emission of dust at its operating plants. Based on the data obtained, the average emission of particulates was 47.3 ppm for the quarry operations and 12.6 ppm for the asphalt operations. These concentrations are within the regulatory permissible limits. Regular dust emission monitoring is also being carried out by external consultants to monitor dust levels at quarry sites and the surrounding areas to ensure that they do not exceed the permissible limits stipulated under MAAQS. Therefore, the company has incurred detection costs in the form of laboratory tests and also cost of hiring external consultant in ensuring that the organization complies with regulations. The third cost is internal failure cost. It is the cost of activities that must be undertaken when contaminants and waste have been created by a business but not released into the environment. Some examples are recycling scrap, treating and disposing toxic waste, and maintaining pollution equipment. Hapsang Building Materials Sdn Bhd also incurred internal failure costs. As I said before, one of the company's activities is manufacturing bricks. Their bricks are manufactured at factories located in Sabah, Pahang, and there's also one factory named Sedenak Brick Factory in Johor. The company produced approximately 141.8 million bricks. So from the number of bricks produced, 4.7 million are rejected. These rejected bricks are considered as waste, but the company took the initiative to recycle them. 48% of the rejected bricks were reused in the bricks production, 18% are sold as byproducts, and the rest were their own use for landfill and also repair of kiln chamber, which is a thermally insulated chamber that they use to produce the bricks.
Hi, I will proceed with the last point for classification of environmental costs, which is the external failure cost. It is the cost that arise when a business releases harmful waste into the environment. This includes the cost for cleaning up oil spill and the decontaminating land. This can be seen through the case of Norilsk Nickel, or also known as Nornickel. A mining firm has paid a record of $2 billion fine over a huge oil spill that caused one of Russia's worst environmental disaster. The penalty is the biggest ever issued for environmental damage in Russia. The full spill last May saw 21,000 tons of diesel poured from one of the company's storage tanks into the river and lakes in Russia's Arctic North. Moreover, the cleanup could cost around $1.5 billion and take between 5 to 10 years to be cleared. Alright, next is the tiers of environmental costs. So the first one is the conventional cost. It is the direct cost associated with the ordinary use of equipment, material, and overhead costs, where the environment will benefit from the decreased use. So, for example, the electricity cost. Reducing electricity use will reduce the pollution that is emitted from non-renewable sources of energy, or going off the power grid with solar energy. This can benefit the environment, conserve resources, and save life. For example, Starbucks. It is also one of the most energy efficient company. Starbucks use around 70% renewable energy, that mostly from the wind power, but they also have other energy efficient practices throughout their company as well. The Starbucks also had a goal of reducing their energy consumption by 25%. They were able to reach this point by installing new energy management system in more than 4,000 stores to optimize heating and cooling costs. So the second point is the hidden cost. So hidden, it is the cost hidden in the overhead cost. Costs from activities such as cost of searching for environmentally responsible supplier and the design cost of more environmentally friendly processes. As example, we can see through the brand name duck under Fashion Valley. There are sustainable commitment. So each duck comes beautifully wrapped in its own box, and whilst duck boxes are considered collectible, its true quality comes from its fully recyclable nature together with the usage of eco-friendly protective tissue paper. So in the making of box completely recyclable and reusable. So the cost incurred for the designing, the eco-friendly packaging and recycled box are the hidden costs. Other than that, they use natural dyes to reduce the consumption of single-use items. So duck is now going green one step at a time. The cost incurred on the researching supplier for the natural dye is also one of the hidden costs. Next, I will pass it to my friend.
Thirdly, contingent costs. These costs come from contingent liability incurred from the company. A contingent liability is a potential liability that may occur depending on the outcome of an uncertain future event. These costs may be recognized within an organization internal report, also disclosed in the external financial report, are future costs that are highly likely to be incurred and they are material in amount. Example, penalty fees, property damage, and legal expenses. So example we can see here, FCA Stellantis is a multinational automotive manufacturing corporation in US. The company faced complaint and order violation from the state due to the strong paint and chemical odors affecting nearby residents in Warren and Detroit, US. On November 2021, the authority has sent letter and imposed fine to the company to be accountable for violating environmental act. Fourth, relationship and image costs. Less tangible costs and benefit that relate to consumer perception and employee-community relation. It also called corporate image and relationship costs. Rarely measured in standard information system and are difficult to measure objectively. It includes the cost of annual environmental report and community relation activity, and costs incurred for an award program. They are being intangible because of the direct benefit that resulted from the relationship image expenses. Example, you can see here, AION Malaysia Green Action Program by AION Company Malaysia Berhad. This program wants to address global warming issue and aim to significantly eliminate carbon dioxide emission. Other than that, to raise awareness and the youth, local community and staff on the importance of environmental preservation. In this program, the society view that the AION company have awareness about environment. Example program that has been held are the tree planting near Sungai Selangor Riverbank, Kuala Selangor, and firefly breeding project maintenance. Lastly, societal costs. Costs for which organization may not be held legally responsible and which cannot be compensated for in the legal system. These are difficult to identify and quantify due to the high cost of estimating impacts and lack of specialist environmental knowledge. The cost of producing a commodity is borne by society, not the firm. The social costs include both private and external costs. External costs are costs that are directly related to the production and consumption but are not paid by the producer. For example, case of Kim River pollution. In Johor, this accident happened because of irresponsible factory dump chemical waste into the river. At least 105 people were hospitalized after inhaling toxic gas, according to the report. We can see here this case have societal costs, which private costs incurred by the company that dispose the toxic waste and the costs incurred by the society due to the pollution. In action of irresponsible firms cause pollution, causing the society to bear the costs they did not create. The social costs incurred by society include medical costs, lost productivity due to the inability to work or attend school, and costs to restore the ecosystem.
Thank you, FAZLIN. Now I'm going to present on the advantage and disadvantage of environment cost and benefit. The first advantage is create a good image to customer. Companies who are concerned towards the environment will more likely to attract new customer and maintain its existing customer. This is because people nowadays are more self-conscious on the product they use and what its effect towards the environment. For example, is the Body Shop. They committed to go against animal testing in cosmetic for over 30 years and is first global cosmetic company to fight for this animal cruelty. Customers who are aware of this cruelty will definitely have good image towards the Body Shop. The second one is remain competitive in the market. Company which produce product with a concern towards environment compared to its competitor who remain passive will remain competitive in a long run. This is because the product produced is unique and can be differentiated with the competitor's product. Since there are consumers who may base a purchasing decision on the sustainable business practices of the company, it can foster good relationship with the communities and able to remain competitive in the market. The last one is resources is fully utilized. Companies who implement an environmental friendly practices will fully utilize the resources available to produce their product effectively. This will help the company to save more costs and there will be no wastage material in manufacturing the product. For example, its daikin industry. It strives to use resources effectively by carrying out 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and cycle. For example, daikin design products that are easy to separate, so at the end of life of the product, it can be recycled to utilize fully the resources available. And the next is the disadvantage. The first one is higher cost. To recycle a product, company need to have an advanced machine that can accommodate for the material to be reused back with higher quality. With higher cost, there are companies who still reluctant to change its practices to become an eco-friendly company. For example, is Honda. The company has invested a lot of resources with high cost in producing fuel-efficient vehicles. Thus, Honda incur a higher cost to preserve the environment. And the second one is time and resource constraint. A longer time is used to produce an eco-friendly product because recycled material need to be inspected in detail to ensure the quality of the end product is preserved. Company also needs to have a competent employee who have knowledge and know how to handle any issue arise from using recycled and reused material. Company who lacks resources will definitely go for producing a non-environmental friendly product. And the last one is burdensome to company. It is challenging to implement the practices which require a continuous assessment to ensure the production of high quality product. For a company who lack resources, it will become a burdensome for them since it requires a higher cost. Then, only companies who are stable in the market can go green. For example, is IKEA. It is one of the biggest home furnishing brands in the world. It sources 100% of its cotton from farms that meet the better cotton standard. So, in conclusion, company need to strive for a betterment in environment to ensure the nature is preserved and pollution will be reduced. Company need to slowly adapt in manufacturing eco-friendly product to satisfy the customer demand to remain in the market. That's all from us. Thank you.